Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Good Keyboard Friends podcast. I am here with Tanghus, one of my co-hosts, and I am Hubert the Mad. And we have somebody that not only has one of the sexiest accents, but has one of the coolest backshot backdrops of any video guest that we've had. We have Zambumon, aka Sam. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Good Keyboard Friends podcast.
Hey.
I'm not your host.
No, our host is AWOL. We don't know where he is. So not joined today by us.
Something very funny that nobody could have predicted, because this is definitely not something that is of his character at all. Simon originally invited Zamb on like a week or two ago and set out a date. He is not here. Oh, shock Pikachu.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh man. No, I'm sure he has something going on in real life. And like we always say, what James is doing right now, in real life comes before the podcast. And James is also doing something in real life. But a real quick intro for those that don't know who Zamb is. Not only is he a keycap and a board designer, and he's also run switches, but he's an awesome dude. There were some points before we started recording that I wish I hit record for, and obviously there were others that we would have edited out anyways, but it was so fascinating to listen to him talk. He has designed many of your favorite sets, like, let me just go through a couple. GMK Striker.
Hey.
Purple Knights. I don't know if you can... let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. Hamon?
Yes, Hamon.
Oh, and an oldie but a goodie, Nautilus Nightmares.
You might be one of those that... Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Actually, let's hold on a second. Let's go in the treasure trove here.
Okay. While
gotta move all my garbage.
Tanghus looks through it. What have you been up to, Zamb? I know you've been busy doing, things keyboard related and non-keyboard related, but for those of you that don't know what you've been doing, can you give a quick explanation?
So, yeah, he's taking some Nautilus set.
Yeah, it was like many years ago. He did like an IKEA set.
Oh. Yes, that's the one we did with Mastrop when it was Mastrop, and actually messaged me and DM it back and
this was back
to my
very
emails.
Good. Yeah, this has been very good and had like
some
8 letters.
Not.
And then they cut like 50% of the letters and got shit. Okay,
I think I don't know.
No,
I wish they care more about making keyboards than they care right now, because
it used
to say that they have not they no longer care much about custom keycaps, and they are all brand deal and Marvel stuff, and not more, and the Lord of the Rings stuff, and not more making an awesome keycap set. I would say something like what Matteo likes to do, for instance.
All of them doing
I have been since my last project was Hamon, right?
Yep.
So keycap project. My last keycap project was GMK Hamon 2. And since then I have been, I was waiting for the sets to ship by vendors, which unfortunately for some vendors it didn't happen. That was the first for me. One of them was unfortunately Space Cables, and Space, I wish Reagan the best, but unfortunately he didn't. I think he fulfilled all the group buy orders. I had a chat with him that, we are going to make sure that you get paid on September 2023 maybe, and then they kind of like start going darker and darker. And next thing that I know is that Omnitype is buying some of the stock that they had in the US already, and at least selling that, and unfortunately paying, they buy it for cheaper, and they pay what they can, Omnitype, I guess. So they will have more cash flow. And after that, I have not released any keyset because, it's not very encouraging. But I have been doing keyboard stuff behind the scenes, we could say, or more like still developing. Like there's still a keyboard that needs to be released, which is SAR. One day, it has been milled.
When?
I don't know.
When?
The keyboard, okay, so I can talk about that keyboard that I bought material. I myself bought material for 300 boards. 100 of them have been milled years ago. I also bought the PCBs, and we made the carrying cases and everything. Everything is done.
Yeah.
Some stuff needs to be recoated. I don't know when. I would rather not ask for when, but there will be at some point 100 keyboards will be in stock and sold at Zambum's store.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this summer, but who knows? Sometimes it's a difficult thing. It's an expensive keyboard. I hope that it does okay, and that I can, we can do more and more small in-stock drops of them using cool coatings, because anodizing in Europe is unfortunately not possible, and that's something that happens. But but other than that, I have been developing like a structured system for keyboards, researching mounting styles, researching material stuff. I'm not a mechanical engineer. I'm not even an industrial designer. Yeah, I'm not a material engineer. I'm not a. I study computer science and software development. Like, unfortunately, many keyboard enthusiasts. We are all home lab dudes, and I have been, I have always been very enthusiastic about computer-aided design CAD, and also prototyping. And I wish I had the skill and money to have a milling machine, but that's another commitment that I think I'm not going to go on that route. But
I'm sure you have enough money to buy a Haas machine.
Maybe a second hand one.
I heard there's plenty of second-hand Haas machines available.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Is this Haas slandering?
Here we go. For someone that doesn't know anything about Haas, these two know a little bit about what is Haas. First of all, it's a brand.
It's an F1 team.
Yes, actually, and they are, believe it or not, they are more successful Formula 1 team than they are a CNC machine producer.
I think that they are okay as CNC machines, but you are spoiled because you are European, and you know that there are many good European brands.
But the best ones are actually Japanese, aren't they? I mean, it depends. Okay, it depends on what you're like buying.
Well, if you're buying a lathe, you go with a Swiss lathe.
True. Though, like, the DMG lathes are pretty nice. Or
it's either Japanese equipment or European equipment that is.
Because like in Europe, we don't really have the Armada lathes. The lathes like are really nice there, but like, I mean, you'll buy Swiss lathes.
I know very very little about machining CNC mills, lathes and everything. I know some brand names. I know that there are many awesome machines made in Europe, that are micro precision, and that you can go and see them, and they are like full temperature control, like all constant 22 degrees or something like that, like the Kern machines. The Swiss lathes are amazing. Tornos, I think. I don't know much more than that. I think that there's Willimantum also. I don't know where they are made, which are like kind of like a milling machine, but they're also lathes. And yeah, it's my knowledge about lathes, CNC mills, and everything comes, and grinders and whatever you want to call them, comes from Salbun and the Grinsmo knife guys and the Saunders machine guys.
Yeah.
It's I'm not into the. Well, I think it's very important to understand how things are made when it comes to designing,
Mhm.
especially keyboards, keycaps, whatever. Because if you understand the process of how it's going to be made, you're not going to do stupid mistakes when it comes to designing the prototype. And having some knowledge about how a milling machine works, how the material will behave a little bit, how the features are made, and how everything operates, helps you solve issues before they will happen when it comes to the design phase, I guess.
Mm.
And yeah, my background when it comes to design is like I like to design keyboards, although I haven't released that many keyboards. And I have been designing keycaps. Like I started with, you start saying, you start like you said, you mentioned the keycaps, like, oh, you have designed Nautilus and Sandstorm, whatever. Everything in the keyboard enthusiast path, or the circle of the hero, how it's called, I can't remember. You start by getting called like, oh, you just color pick. You just color pick Kika, the colors. And then you are, okay, I'm going to design my own assets for these keycaps, like the SVG files. Oh, but you're just doing some mockups. And then you start making the 3D renders. And my first 3D renders were garbage. Then later on, like you see Purple Knight and they are pretty good. And then you think, okay, so designing keycaps is not enough. I'm going also to prove them wrong by trying to design a keyboard. And then you make a keyboard, even if it's just the enclosure and you rely on a talented PCB designer, but you design a keyboard. And then you go back and say, okay, I'm going now to design my own typography. And you design your own typography. And then you're like, okay, let's do everything. If I can design the stabilizers and then later on the switches, I have designed stabilizers. The switches I'm not going to design because I really like the idea of navies.
Yeah.
But now and later on you are, okay, something else we can also do. Let's design also the keycaps, keycaps themselves, and make a fully parametric model that you select the size of the keycap and it generates a keycap, and then you select the profile and it generates that profile. Also that. And that's where I am right now. Like if I can design everything, well, also there's the part of, let's do product photography. Product photography it is. Let's do I don't know, everything that you can do. When they called you, oh, you're a keyboard enthusiast. Yes, I'm very enthusiastic about keyboards. If I can do everything more, I will do it. The only thing that I haven't done is PCBs, because the part of the PCB, there's very talented people like Gondo. There's very talented people like Cipulot. There's very talented people like Wilba that have been doing the building blocks. Well, also the QMK folks that are hundreds of contributors, the ZMK folks. There's a lot of stuff already done, a lot of building blocks already being in place, that designing a PCB has not been a priority for me for the longest time. But maybe one day I will also do. Oh, also there's the PCB as well. And then you are, okay, you're not a color picker. Are you okay now that I'm not a color picker? It's all about a spite and everything. If you can design absolutely everything, they cannot call you anything else. Or they're, okay, this guy is enthusiastic about keyboards, which is, is the cool part. Like when you receive a box, and especially if you are not making it yourself and you're prototyping and relying on a shop to make that stuff, and you open you open the large box full of keycaps, for instance, from GMK. You're very happy because finally it's done, and it looks how I envisioned, and you're enthusiastic. So yeah, the latest frontier, I guess, is not only design everything, make everything in house.
Oh my gosh!
And that point is it starts getting a little bit too much, because you cannot handle, if you make everything, you cannot handle the part that I like is design, researching, testing stuff, proving Simon wrong. And that part is you cannot be a vendor if you do that, because if you're a vendor, it has happened with many vendors that start as a hobbyist, that you start as a vendor and then you need to reply to the customers and give good customer support and be a good vendor, and you cannot spend that much time when it comes to designing and developing new products. And it compounds to a point that vendors unfortunately lose their personality and start being more kind of like another reseller in some cases. And that's the part that is a little bit frustrating with the hobby sometimes. And I prefer to be even that economically, or when it comes to instability, is much worse not being a vendor, because you as a vendor you have a recurring customer base, hopefully, and you have income every month, hopefully, if you're a good vendor. Dedicating to just design is very sketchy, and I wouldn't recommend it to folks. But yeah,
this is first of all, I have a question for Tanghus, but I want to put this in real quick. I haven't spoken with Zamb at all until today. I've always been a lurker, quietly in the shadows, just watching, like a peeping Tom, a little bit, you know. I'm always there watching. All right, goodbye sponsors. No more sponsors. The thing that is so fucking amazing, and the thing that makes me excited, even after, I haven't been in the hobby for as many years as both of you, only 2017 or 2020, however you look at it. But the way that Zamb talks about wanting to learn about this, all right, and then I want to learn about this, and then about this, and let me try this, all in order to learn and make things better and to avoid problems beforehand. That is amazing. That's the reason why we all love the hobby, just the continuous improvement and learning things. And that's amazing, dude. When you were talking through that, I got goosebumps on my skin.
The monologue.
Yeah, I loved it.
You need some auto monologue inside your head, telling you this and replying this, and auto convincing yourself about this. That's how it works.
How to cope with all your bad decisions.
Yes, exactly. It's cope.
But convince yourself, I am doing great because I love learning, so I learn everything about the keyboard, the whole process.
Yeah.
Which I 100% get behind.
I have some. I don't DM much people, but sometimes some of my DMs with pikku-allu are very weird. For instance, pikku-allu, for those that don't know, he's the best when it comes to product-based visualization. That's 3D renders.
Okay.
And my messages with him are very weird, because he sends me an image. That was my last message, was like, oh, can you provide me with the models for the stabies, so I'm doing some work for Omnitype, and they need some renders, and I'm doing them for them. And I send them the CAD files and send them some photos. He sends them back, and I'm like, oh, they are great, but you can, if you see these in here, there's like a small indent in there, and he goes and fixes it, or does like there are many people in the hobby that are extremely passionate about how to do things, and no one will notice this except them and maybe some other dude. pikku-allu, when he does the renders, he goes the extra mile, for instance. And I also I have many keyboards.
Yeah.
And my issue is that most of the keyboards are not built. There's like a pile of keyboards in here, and they are not built. And that happens because I open the keyboard and I get the magnifying glass and I look at the keyboard with the magnifying glass because, it's very cool. Like yesterday I grabbed the Geon W180, and I opened it and I looked. Oh my god, he's doing the. If you check all the to avoid deburring, you add a small chamfer in the features, right?
Mhm.
To reduce the need of deburring a piece. Deburring a piece, when you cut a piece, it has like a sharp edge, and if you deburr it, well, it's a finish. To reduce the finishing processes, I guess. Well, afterwards, you usually bead blast it if you're going to anodize it, or you leave it raw. So you get the W180, you start checking all the features, and you start seeing how he does the small breaking edge chamfers and following them and seeing how they end before, well, the tool, the end mill has a radii, and because it cannot reach the corner that is close to the wall, it will swipe out a little bit the chamfer. And I'm like, yes, Geon, you know what you are doing. I love your work.
Yeah.
He's an excellent, like, that's how you can tell that he's an excellent maker, and he cares about making great products because he has so many little details in his designs. I don't like his design process because it's a little bit chaotic when I watch his streams. He doesn't constrain that much the sketches. I'm a little bit more neurotic in that regard.
Yeah.
I like making things fully parametric, and I design a keyboard that is for just a 65%, but it needs to work for a 60%, and it needs to work for a 75%. So all the sketches need to be constrained. But he's like more practical in that regard, and I really like all the details. Like when I see a keyboard, I like all the small details that are in there.
That's
I think
awesome.
that's also one of the insights in that basically you're showing, are you a designer or an engineer? I really tried to learn Blender one, but I think that's a good, like, I tried.
Good luck.
No, I did get into, that's really fucking rough because, like, coming from a background in CAD and CAM, like, that is like anarchy to me. And I was sitting down through it. I was talking to one of my friends who's a designer for, and also doing a lot of advertisement work, etc. He's really good in Blender. I was talking about what I was doing. It's like, yeah, it's piss easy. Just do this. It's like, I can't work with it. It's clay. And it's like, yeah. You have to remember, you're working with clay. You're not working with, like, you're working
with meshes.
Yeah. Which is really rough because basically coming from CAM, it's much easier because you're saying, it's a constraint. Make the things parametric. Make it sure that it just is nice. But that's also the thing is, are you a great designer? Or are you a great engineer?
Well, when you use Blender, what I do is I import everything. I sometimes clean the meshes, and I just use whatever. I do everything in Fusion. All of the stuff that I can do in Fusion, in parametric design, I'm going to do it in CAD. I like the round numbers. I like that. This is 1.75 millimeters, and it's going to be 1.75 millimeters. And this is a corner, this is a fillet, and it's going to be 2 millimeters, and it's going to be always that. And you import it in Blender, and obviously, because there's a translation between a CAD model into a mesh, there will be some small artifacts sometimes, and you need to clean them. You should do the retopology. Ideally, you should do a retopology ideally, but sometimes, like, by having a good import workflow or whatever, you can get away with a less ideal mesh, we could say, but that works. And I'm the part, I prefer the engineering part than the dealing with meshes and the lack of precision, even though there's precision in the mesh, but it's like I like the parametric CAD and step file. It's fantastic. It has a purpose, and the meshes and Blender has another purpose, and it's a little bit, you need a good program to you need a program like Blender to do the rendering for product visualization. But I prefer to do as much as possible in CAD. If I can avoid, like I have done some components in Blender, some easy components like not rectangles, but if you imagine a PCB, it has all the fuses, the capacitors, the hot swap sockets, the soldering, like the soldering blobs. You do that all in Blender and it's okay. It's small details. But I'm not going. I have done a full switch model of a cherry switch with internals, like measuring and taking pictures and everything. I have done all of that, but I wouldn't be able to do that on Blender. For me, it's not comfortable. Even though, yeah, you can do stuff, but if you're designing for making something on a milling machine, you're not going to design. You're not going to use a mesh. Like you're not going to use Blender. You're not going to use. You need the precision, and after all, you're going to get that step file and make it into a CAM program and make the G codes. And for that, there's nothing better than a step file.
But it's also pretty interesting saying drawing a fuse in Blender. That's where one of the points, like, I've really fucking struggled. Because it just doesn't make sense to me how that program works, because I'm basically coming from a job where I use SolidWorks.
Yes.
And, like, it's completely upside down. It is like...
It's so fast to design that when you're getting used to a workflow, it's so fast to design a piece in CAD. It's also the same when it comes to the 3D to Blender itself. Like, but it's also, in any case, those little details, like checking the data sheet for the measurements and everything. It's a fun part. It's very fun to checking a data sheet and identifying a component based on that data sheet and saying, oh, they are using this fuse from this brand, and Wilba Tech in his PCBs he uses a fuse that has like a 4, and you have to track down the using the part number and the data sheet. You can track exactly where he gets them. Cipulot uses another kind of component. It depends on the factory that they use. Some of the components, like the diodes, that Gondo, Cipulot, or Wilba, they are all different. If you check the TKD stuff, they also use different components. It's very fun. Actually, making PCBs in 3D for product visualization is very fun. I'm not getting to the precision and realism that pikku-allu is able to, but that's because he's on another level when it comes to product visualization. But it's very fun finding out exactly which component they are using based on the measurements and the packaging and probably the factory that they use, that you can guess based on the PCB finishes that they offer when you go to a store. So,
this is the stuff that we like talking about these things. We're all keyboard nerds, I guess. Tanghus, as a keycap designer yourself.
No.
Are you? No, you are an engineer. You are an electrical engineer, not just an electrician, and you are a keycap designer. When you see Zambumon talk about his progress, do you see yourself going down all those, different slopes, and after the keycaps, I'll go into keyboards and then maybe PCBs and things like that? Do you see future Tanghus in him?
First of all, I really don't like the term designer. I prefer the title eyedropper tool user much more. Or we could also say color picker. That is fine.
Color picker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I do, and I do that. I mean, I see this because it's one of those things where, well, I am also just like anyone else here. I am like, my hobby is not X hobby. My hobby is to collect hobbies, or expand in my hobbies, or make my hobby an even bigger hobby. So, like, I have for sure seen myself, because one of the things I actually would like to get into is the PCBs, but it's time consuming. Everything here
Yes.
is time consuming, and that's the one resource I don't have. I would love to have more of it, but I don't have it. But had I had the time, for sure, it's one of the things I would love to start doing, because it's one of those things that speaks to me, speaks to what I find interesting. Making electrons move and have like angry pixies stumble out of it when you poke it wrong, and just like see the magic smoke disappear and like see something never work again. But
I have actually, when it comes to PCBs, I have luckily there's a lot of resources by Gondo.
Yeah.
He has Gondo has the Acheron project.
Oh, that's right.
Or Acheron project, probably Acheron. And there's lots of repos and lots of public PCBs that he has done, that you open a PCB, you start seeing how he lays down the schematics, how, well, a PCB has a schematic and has a circuit, and how he does the things, which components they use. And then you do the stupid thing and say, oh, I'm going to design a PCB, but I'm not going to use any library. I'm going to do all the components myself, because I want to learn, and I want to develop my own footprints and have my own data sheets. And that's where I am. That's my problem. I like doing everything. So I checked and I saw his designs, and I say, okay, I'm going to make my own footprints, my own hot swap footprint, because I would like to have the silk screen follow the contour of the Kale hot swap exactly to the CAD model, and I have a good outline, that kind of thing. Like, and then you make everything from scratch. And let me tell you, it's very satisfying making stuff from scratch. Maybe when you make the first PCB, nothing is going to work, but the second or the third or the fifth time, when that thing arrives in the mail and it actually works, that's going to be very satisfying. The problem is that, as Tanghus mentioned, you need a lot of time. And if you want to juggle all of the stuff that you need to design a keyboard, sometimes you need to understand that it's better to delegate some of the stuff to people that are very experienced. For instance, if I wanted to make a electrocapacitive PCB, you're going to need to understand, like, making an MX PCB. It's easy to understand how it works. It's a switch. You close and you open. Making an electrocapacitive PCB, the schematic is not that complex. There's public repositories on GitHub that explain it a lot, but I don't have, for instance, the confidence of making that, and I would rather rely on someone that has not only developed the footprints, has also tested everything and has developed the firmware, and I would rather give them work and making sure that they give me a good product. Like, for instance, Gondo. He has done a lot of work for electrocapacitive and Hall effect keyboards.
Yeah.
Also Cipulot.
Yeah.
But sir, it will be fun. It'll be a learning experience if you do it yourself.
I can show you you the KiCad project. I can show you. But it's still like, okay, now I need to test this, and I need, like, for me, I'm developing like this whole keyboard thing that is the keyboard that I'm currently developing, or the platform that I'm currently developing for a keyboard structure that works parametrically and works for a 60% and a 65% and a 75% and a TKL, whatever. It adds the mounting points and removes the mounting points. It adds the fixturing points between the bottom and top piece. And you import the layer and you add the blockers, and that's what I'm working.
Yeah.
I do all the CAD design, and then I have to think, oh, now I need to design the PCB as well. I am not skilled enough to make it as fast as they would do, and making sure that when they finish the project, that the PCB is going to work. It's a learning experience. I think it's important for everyone to try to understand as much as possible how designing a PCB works. so you can communicate. If you're working with a PCB designer, you can communicate better what you want. Like you can tell them, I want the corners of the PCB to be exactly this, so they match the cavity where the PCB is. Or can you add some pogo pins? And they will tell you no, because pogo pins are expensive and my fab doesn't offer them, which is what happens unless you're in China and you're a Chinese designer and you can go to the factory itself. Otherwise, you have to solder them yourself, which is, well, but having that understanding of how everything works, it's something that I wish I knew more. I wish I knew how to. I wish I knew how to mill a keyboard. Like not only the strategies, which end, like if I think about it, it's like, okay, let's mill a keyboard, and I have to think, okay, what kind of end mills there are? Like there's finishing end mills, like there's the boring end mills, there's the chamfering tools, there's the lollipop end mills, there's how do you fixture a keyboard, how you make the fixturing jig, everything. All of that stuff is interesting. But if I were to do that, I would need another 5 years. And that's for making something that is shit, because you're not going to be able to, like, to be a good machinist, you need to dedicate yourself fully to knowing how to make things. And that's the issue. You don't have time to do everything, unfortunately.
Yeah. But there's no shame in having the glorious dream of having like a 5-axis milling machine in your house. Everyone's talking about like how 3D printings are going to revolutionize the world. It's like, I don't want a 3D printer.
You want a 5-axis?
I want a 5-axis, like right here out in my garage. I would love that.
Have you seen, like, there's a company in the US that makes a small 5-axis machine that fits inside a door frame? They are not, I don't think they are the pocket CNC guys, but there's a small CNC 5-axis machine that...
I think I've seen it, but the thing is, I would love one of those, but unfortunately, I'm a married man, and my wife do enjoy her sleep. So, like, imagine me setting up a 5-axis milling machine in here in the house, and like, I'm pretty sure.
And also, you're going to need a compressor, a large compressor.
Oh, that I have.
Oh,
well,
God.
It's a start. And you're going to need some large water tanks for deionizing water.
Yeah, true. I mean, those are like pretty easy to get hold of, like a 1,000-liter tank.
But you need the space.
I mean, I got a garden. Like the thing is, the hindering factor here is just the machine, because the thing is, I don't want a Haas either. Like, I would like to have a machine that doesn't have like a high running cost in spare parts.
You want a proper machine with the steps, that you have like a step ladder to get into it.
Oh yes, actually
yes.
And maybe I added a robot feet.
Maybe you should message Jordan 60. I think it was Jordan 64, which is the guy that is into keyboards, and he works for Mazak, or used to work for Mazak. I haven't been talking with him for many years, and when I talk with him, I always joked, a real milling machine has like steps to get into it, because and has some rails, so you can grab it and you can see the parts. Those are real milling machines. Everything else, those are toys. It needs to be large enough to fit. I don't know, a large plank of steel.
I think you got your okay, Tanghus. Your wife won't notice it. Just paint it like I don't know.
You can convince her. Think about the possibilities. How many things we can fix around the house with it?
Yeah. I mean, new door latches. You see, how about I go out and make them? Like, everything in life would be very easy to like do things in the house, because you just have the 5-axis out in the corner, draw up something easy, and like.
Yeah,
it's just a square.
You're completely right. It's absolutely, it's the play. It's something that you should do. Get a 5-axis machine, the largest one that you can get.
Absolutely.
You want to make knives. Well, you're going to need some oven to treat the material to make sure that it's hardened. But you can make keyboards. You can make camera equipment. You can make coffee equipment.
Ah, make a deburring machine. Like, you can basically make everything with it. But kind of like a 3D printer, you can make everything kind of.
In a
You can
subtractive
make
method,
it,
yeah.
but you can make it, but like additive manufacturing, it's great and all that, but like subtracting, like probably like
think,
milling business is great.
Well, I think right that specifically in the keyboard hobby, we don't use additive manufacturing at all.
Not enough.
Almost not enough. And I can prove you that. And this is what I have been working on. It's like we should use it way more, because you can get many interesting structures and multi-material and intricate designs that are not possible in subtractive. Like the switch plates, we should make them, instead of making them out of polycarbonate, laser cutting them or milling them, you can make one with a 3D printer, and it's going to be amazing because the internal structure with the infills, you can control how much it flexes. You can control, we something that has plagued this hobby is the use of foam for no reason. Like you add a plate and then you add a stack of foam instead of using just thicker plates.
Right.
Like why are you're adding foam to dampen and mute some stuff instead of using a thicker plate that is more flexible? So maybe using polycarbonate, a milling out of polycarbonate, or maybe using, like, if I get a 4.75 millimeter polycarbonate plate and you start trying to flex it, it will flex more than some aluminum plates. I have like the Matrix Corsa plate that is full of relief cuts and everything, and I have a 3D printed plate. Like the Corsa plate flexes like nothing, and this is a 4.95 millimeter plate, and you can do this, and you can you can flex it and twist it around and everything because it's plastic.
Yeah,
and there's very little waste, and it's very interesting that we still don't use additive manufacturing enough when it comes to keyboards, and you can get very high quality parts made out of 3D printer, home 3D printers. Well, this is prosumer 3D printer, but a shop having, something that I really dislike are cheese plates, like multi-layout plates.
Yeah.
Because with keyboards, you are spending so much time and money in keyboards that the best thing that I would want is, like, when I build my keyboard, I have in mind a layout, or the designer had in mind a layout, and I'm going to go with them with whatever they say. Like if you get a TKL Winkeyless, I'm going with the Winkeyless layout, the classic Winkeyless layout, one unit blocker. And if I'm an ISO user, I would rather prefer having an ISO plate with the proper ISO cutouts. So when I install the switches, it's perfect. It's aligned, and you install everything. You haven't still placed the keycaps, and it's like so clean.
Yeah,
everything is in its place. Nothing rattles, and everything is perfect. So using additive that has a minimum order quantity of 1, the plate that you make, what you need is obviously the design files. You can make custom plates for everyone with a finish. You prepare the file a little bit so to ensure success, but you get a good finish product. There's a lot of engineering materials right now.
Yeah.
You can make them transparent. You can make them out of bright colors. You can make them out of carbon fiber composites. PTE carbon fiber, ASA carbon fiber. There's materials that have more density. There's materials that have less density. You can make some stuff that I would like to experiment more, but I haven't had the chances. Making a multi-material plate, you can. Well, I haven't experimented much because you need to load different materials and test which ones work best. But why are we adding like a foam thing that we place between the plate and the PCB when we can just print a multi-material plate that has the foam inside channels of the plate that works as a dampening inside the plate and reducing those or affecting the noise profile of the keyboard, and it's inside the plate, and when you install it, it's a clean process that you don't have to adjust the foam so it doesn't clip into the switches or anything. So multi-material is very heavily underused when it comes to keyboards. Not multi-material, additive manufacturing. There's only the only example that I have seen of a commercial product that has used additive manufacturing has been Mode keyboards that they make I don't know if it's the Envoy, the 65 or whatever, that they used some bumpers, some small bumpers that has a lattice pattern for their mounting system. And they use, I believe the company is called Carbon. They use like the contract, that company is called Carbon, that is also responsible for making, for instance, Nike shoes. So they make a lattice structure on the Nike shoes. And yeah, we don't use nearly close enough additive as we should.
But I'd also argue one of the things you're really saying about additive is mixing materials. But one of the things you can really do with additive is, in a singular material, is playing around, as you're saying, with the lattice structure, with the density of a material. Yeah, for example, here you're using it, but you can also, depending on this, like localize, okay, here I use less material, here I use more material. I think a really good example of someone doing this is actually not from the keyboard hobby, but from shoes. If you look at, what's the face, Zellerfeld, for example.
This one looks completely normal from the top. For audio listeners, I'm showing a 65% plate that looks completely normal from the top side. You flip it around and you see a lattice structure using a gyro pattern, which is isotropic. I believe it's isotropic, the word. This one is 60%, 3.80... 3.20 millimeter plate.
Yeah.
And it has a lattice structure from the first layer to the last one. It's very flexible.
But here, for example, also one thing you're doing is around the space bar, you have holes.
Exactly.
So now you're changing the density and the sound properties localized. So depending on where you are on the board, you can change the sound in the plate and the density.
There's some dudes in the US. I cannot remember their Twitter handle. They are developing, or their doctorate is using different thicknesses for the extrusion, so they can localize how the material behaves in certain areas. So imagine that instead of changing the percentage of, and I have been using them in some parts that for now they are kind of like secret. But what they use is not using different percentages. They use different thicknesses on the extrusion, so they can control how much it will flex. But yeah, I have experimented a lot with them, and they are really...
They're overall very doable.
Yeah.
Is it a cost thing or like a complexity thing? The reason why we don't see it as much?
No, it's because you associate...
lack of knowledge.
Yeah, you can make them more dense, less dense, whatever. This I think is not the future. This is the present of keyboards. We should be using them more. We should be using all of the tools that we can. We should be specializing more on using whatever. Like if you want to make a very heavy plate out of brass, go for it. But we should also use additive manufacturing, subtractive manufacturing, anything, multi-materials. We haven't done research, for instance, on the stuff that folks like. There's a material that is called Richlite. Richlite is paper with a resin, and it looks like wood. It has been used by companies like Cambridge Audio to make the panels, the exterior panels of some of their amplifiers and streamers.
Oh,
It has
wow.
been used by I don't know who else. So they make a material that is kind of like wood,
Right.
not kind of like wood, but it has been used in audio equipment. I don't know if they use it in speaker cabinets, but maybe they have used them. And it's a beautiful material. It's a beautiful material. It has they can tint it. They can make it with colors. I really like it. Yeah, knife handles out of Richlite. Yeah,
It's
they
a
make
very
countertops. You can, yeah, it's something that we haven't been using in keyboards. And when we talk about keyboard design, we talk always like, oh, how great is having an internal weight for a keyboard.
Right.
And we have always made that internal weight out of steel, brass. Why not make it out of Richlite, for instance?
Oh, wow.
Let's see how the properties are, or how that affects to the outside of a keyboard. Because having multiple materials creates very interesting things when it comes to the sound of the keyboard. How those materials interact. What happens if I use Richlite and then I use something to dampen, and we're just using aluminum, brass, subtractive, everything, whatever. Let's add more and more materials, more processes, and make something premium and unique. The issues that we have right now with keyboards is that there was a run for the bottom of the barrel of making things as cheap as possible.
Yes.
Many vendors went down, and we need more of the uniqueness of keyboards. What capture the hobby? That has been an issue, and we cannot compete. I cannot compete with $100 keyboard. I cannot even compete with a $300 keyboard. Especially if you want to make it in Europe, you cannot compete with that. You cannot compete with a $300 keyboard, even if you make it in China, because if you cannot compete with a Chinese brand, with a Chinese designer and a Chinese shop that they work together, all local. So this is why brands like Matrix can do incredible complex keyboards for 500 or 400 euros or dollars. I cannot do that for $400. It would be 700 or 800 because they have everything localized, and they work together very well. You cannot compete with that. So we have to search, or at least in the western world, we could say, like the US and Europe, we have to find way more stuff that is experimental and it's unique and that you can make in here and that you can bring into the table and say, look, this is our design. This is why it's unique. I wouldn't go as far as making something like Norbauer, because I think it's kind of like
the hobby only needs one Norbauer anyway.
Yeah, it's his own thing, but it's very disconnected. Or I don't like the idea of a $3,600 keyboard. I'm not the public. I think it doesn't align with what I would want to do for a no compromise keyboard.
Yeah.
But the stabilizers were developed in Europe. It's fine.
Yes, but the stabilizers. Okay, we can talk about the stabilizers. I guess they have an authoritative voice when it comes to stabilizers, at least. I respect the stabilizers design that they made.
Same.
It's amazing, but there's a point where I love, for instance, you love maglev trains, but maglev trains are incredibly expensive and incredibly impractical,
and also not very energy efficient.
Exactly. When you can. And if you have stabilizers that take lots of man hours to build, it takes several man hours to build, according to the Verge article and whatever they say in interviews and podcasts and everything, I have read it and I have research about their stabilizers. It takes them a lot of time to build them. They build them in California, so even more expensive because of the labor cost, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very labor intensive. They are great. They solve the issue. But they are incredibly expensive. Yes. And I'm designing a keyboard that is very expensive. Like SAR is very expensive. But it goes beyond that expensive, I guess. It's a new system that is incredibly expensive and that is not approachable by the every guy. Like my stabies are expensive because they have the PVD coated wires. We have the hex screws, and it has the PVD coated brass insert inside. They are expensive, and they are expensive because we wanted to make them that way. But they're
good.
They are okay. They are okay for a specific. They are finely tuned for cherry keycaps with cherry switches and full length switches.
Yeah.
And even though you have TX stabilizers and you have the TX AP stabilizers, the almost perfect stabilizers, QWERTY keys stabilizers, cherry stabilizers, I have seen like the best stabilizers that I have ever tested were built by Foundry, and they were cherry clip-ins stabilizers, and I don't know how he looped them exactly, but it was a combination of looping and positioning the stabilizer perfectly because tolerances and the keycap set and everything, and they feel like butter. Like it was a 7-unit spacebar, but it felt like a 1-unit keycap. So
wow, yeah,
that's how good those stabilizers were, and I appreciate the effort of making the ultimate no lubricant require stabilizer that uses pins and everything, but it's so expensive. Like a single a full set of stabilizers is going to cost hundreds of dollars, and I want to build keyboards. I want one keyboard, and I another day you want another flavor, and you want enthusiasts that tinker with the keyboards, and it's not very approachable in my opinion. Like it's great, I appreciate, but it's like a hypercar. I'm not the guy that is interested in that.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in unique layouts or unique keyboards, mounting systems, keycaps, different profiles, switches. I love when people customize with they customize a switch and they lubricate it and they swap the spring and say, no, I want to use 52-gram springs, and for the spacebar I'm going to use a 55-gram spacebar. Like for my builds, I usually use like 62 grams for all of the keycaps except the spacebar, which is 7 grams heavier because the spacebar is about 7 grams heavier when you build it in ABS. And I try to ask or try to find. I really like the original cherry switches, and I was trying to find, in Nixie, both in Nixie's and the usual cherry built keyboards. Many times the spacebar had like a gray switch, because it was heavier. And I have been trying to find those switches, and you cannot find them, unfortunately. Just to have the right color on that spacebar and have that visual clue that it was a spacebar switch. I guess that I would have to buy high-rose switches now. Like, fortunately, now that we have Nixie's, Neo Nixie's, and Neo high-rose switches, some will complain that they are not. I don't care. They have the cherry brand and they have the right color. So I'm happy that at least scalpers can no longer do a lot of business now that people can try them.
Amen.
But yeah.
I don't think you've been able to buy like linear grays for like years. because
when
I started in hobby like 2013, we could still buy them, but like they were getting scarce, and they were one of the first to really disappear. Linear grays went on for quite a while, but the same with MX White also kind of disappeared. MX Green is now disappearing. I see, it's surprising, but also MX Loctus.
The Cherry's future is
bleak,
not looking great. Unfortunately, like switches made in Europe no longer a thing.
Nope.
They will use they say, oh, we have a factory in China. The factory is probably the same as the rest of the switches. So the uniqueness of the factory that they had in Europe, I guess it's gone, unfortunately. Even if they have their own factory, it's kind of like, it's not the same. It's not the same European switch that they have. They have like the proudly made in Germany, unfortunately.
Didn't they already like produce some of the switches in China and have a production in both places? So now we're just moving everything to China because
no, it's not like they are moving anything to China. They are just shutting down the European plant.
I mean, they're probably moving the production machines. Let's say so they're probably moving whatever production machines they have in Europe. Why
would you move them when you already have them in China?
It depends on like the processes you're moving. Now they're moving everything to China, but like if you're moving a production, if you have some part of production still in Europe, like I used to work with CNC machines, closing down a production and moving oftentimes meant for the machines that was in one place, you would logistically typically send them to the new place. We had a customer that did electrical cabinets, and they shut down their production here in Denmark and moved it to Poland. And that meant like taking all the machines, shutting them down, sending them to Poland. And after a couple of years there, they actually shut down that place and moved it all to China, where they had a similar plant. So because it's cheaper to, like, they've already paid off the machine, say in Germany here. So moving it to China.
They just ship it in a container.
So like for sure they're going to send stuff like knowledge. Yeah, that's gone.
And that's
feels bad, man.
I would recommend people watching the SmarterEveryDay second channel or first channel video about making a grill scrubber in the US. He's talking that the knowledge of mold making in the US has gone. No one makes molds in the United States, and it's all that knowledge of all that know-how, all that institutional knowledge about how to make things is unfortunately localizing in one place, which is China, which is great for China, but it's not great if you want to make stuff everywhere, which should be like ideally you would want to have every part of the world being capable of making stuff. I want to make stuff here because I'm from here. Not for a patriotic motive. It's just I was born here and I would like to make stuff here. Yeah. Same with Salmon. He wants to make stuff in Belgium because he's from Belgium. Or Tanghus. Like, why is Lego made in Denmark? Because they were from Denmark. And a lot of stuff. Fun fact.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I could get like a whole thing is that actually depending on where you buy your Lego bricks, they are made in different places.
But initially they were made in Denmark.
They were made in Denmark.
I'm guessing that right now they have super large factories in China.
One of the things they actually do, and it's one of those that's actually a good example of how you could continue doing it. A lot of production are still in Denmark, but it's more typically specialized bricks or like the smaller quantities one that requires like high speciality. Like I can go down like a whole rabbit hole of like production in Denmark because it is very special here what production companies did, because a lot of countries in the Western world in the 90s saw increasing wage costs, and like we were one of the first to really lose our production because one, we didn't have natural resources in our country. Secondly, the labor cost was already immensely high in Denmark. So a lot of the workforce here initially specialized. overall, the whole production in Denmark has been like really focused on bringing down the price of small batch manufacturing, specializing manufacturing, or in case of you can have your production here, but if you're moving to another market, open your production there. What Lego did in the 90s and 2000s when they first started outsourcing production was they actually moved it to Eastern Europe and built production there that supplemented the production in Denmark, which they sent out. And over time, what they do now is if you buy a Lego set in USA, it's made, the bricks are made in Mexico. They have large plants in Mexico, or they are also opening plants in US now. If you buy a Lego set in China, it's made in China. So there's very little that they're changing and sending in between here because basically they are localizing production for the area. I have another customer that was my old company that finally also made electrical cabinets, but what they did, they had a production here, a specialized production in Aalborg. They had a production in Poland, they had a production in China. And every plant was basically a production setup, was a carbon copy of what was going on in Denmark. And the labor costs were high in Denmark, but your workforce is very specialized. They can work independently, do their task with no question. You say, do this, and they understand the whole process. The whole mindset of a technician here is very holistic. But you do that here, there's nothing implied, it works first time. Bam. So the production cost for a small batch production is low. Do they need a larger production? They could make it done in Poland. Typically here, your skill set is a little lower because your production is also cheaper. And nothing about the Polish like engineering, because we also see now that this is happening in Poland. They are moving production away from Poland again because it's no longer cheap. And in China, they just ran everything. And the program, the CNC program the guy in Denmark made was the same CNC program they ran in Poland. It's the same CNC program they ran in China. And in China, they just basically ran this, but one guy made here. And then they paid quite a substantial amount of money for these larger ones to go through QA. So what they are saving money on here in Denmark is your production cost is higher, but the QA and the quality assurance, quality control, especially control part, is actually really bad in China. There was a clothing company, like a very small company. She actually moved her whole production of clothing to the side. No, not. I think she's doing Wellington or like large boots, like watertight boots. She moved it to China, and that was no success for her. She actually ended up spending the same amount of money to get these wellies made in China than she did in Denmark because of the production, all the quality control she had to do, and all the scrap she had got from the quality control. Like meant that she was paying the same for the product to get it made in China, and she was getting it made here. And especially when it comes to subtracting industry, like Denmark has been a big player in many years for like very specialized like products and like at very, very small scale. Basically, you send them a part and it works the first time within your spec. And it's a big part of also the production that the machines are setting up, because it was a lot of case of if you eliminate your prototype and instead make your prototype a working product, you've essentially just like saved 50% of your cost of running this part at a small scale. So it's really about getting the precision done and getting the machine to one will have the knowledge and the experience. And this is a big part. So I think this is really interesting when it got into like product design and product development. I really like product development, especially production. The aspect is really what I think is really interesting. Also to keyboards is how do you make sure that everything just works? And it's one of those where we're still relying on in China. But SmarterEveryDay had one. I think there's also, what's her name? Simone Giertz. Simone Giertz made a very interesting video because she did the screwdriver ring a long time ago.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And like that one, she sent out offers to get it made in both Europe and USA and China. And like in the US, no one ever responded to her. The European offers were really expensive. because of how it worked here. And Chinese, all of them replied. Because they're like, they might not know, like they might not know how to do it, but they'll say yes anyway because it's business.
Yeah.
And another thing that we really were good at in Europe was like, we had in all of Europe, especially in the 90s, this mindset that like, okay, there was this mindset, okay, in the future, each country does their own thing. So especially Germany really pushed on this. So in the 90s, they basically shut down all their foundries, and just instantly China was like, yeah, we'll buy that. So all the steel foundries were shut down through the 90s, and that knowledge basically disappeared. So, and
It has happened also with
Spain.
aluminum.
Yeah, and also in Spain, you had like quite a lot of ironworks up in the northern parts.
No. The biggest, I don't know how to say in English, but there's, the issue with foundries and foundries and is that they are very electric intensive
and polluting.
So you need cheap electricity. Well, the issue with Europe is that unless you're in Norway, you haven't solved that issue, because Norway is low density population. It has a lot of water, and it turns out they also have a lot of oil, gas, wind. They have everything when it comes to electricity. So they are very savvy when it comes to, okay, we still have our foundries, we still have our, I believe like they sell Norwegian steel, Norwegian aluminum and everything.
But it's also a different thing because they're not really in the EU.
No, they are not in the EU, but they in Spain we have, for instance, where in the northwest of Spain there's still there's a lot of aluminum factories, I would say, that extrude produce aluminum profiles and work with aluminum, but it needs a lot of electricity. And if you start closing those, well, the worst part is that some of those were state companies that they were privatized, and now they are owned by a US company, and the US company doesn't care, and they want to shut it down because it's not as profitable, and they cannot squeeze as much money from government funds, I would say.
Welcome to X business in any in Y European country.
In any European country, yes. Unfortunately, that is the truth. You make a company that is a state, and then you privatize it, and then it's bought by a fund from a third country, and then they still get those public funds. And when they don't get that extra public fund, they say, "Oh, we are shutting down this and sending 10,000 people to no jobs and good luck." So that has happened many times in Europe because we don't value strategic sectors as we should. And it has meant that we have lost a lot of production knowledge that has delocalized to other parts of the world. That means anodizing, for instance, is no longer cosmetic anodizing in Europe is impossible, not only because of the environmental laws that don't allow you to use some chemicals, but also because you can't find places that do those finishes. But also, if you start closing down production facilities, if you start closing down foundries, then you lose the knowledge about how to make great material, and that gets delocalized to another country, and that country now can sell you that material for more expensive, or they can sell that material for way cheaper to their own factories, and then you buy the transformed product from their factory. So that's why it ends up being cheaper to buy something made out of another country than if you make it yourself in your country, because they control the whole production chain.
Yeah.
And the moment that you lose that production chain, it has happened in the US, it has happened in Europe, and we should try to make sure that we don't keep de-industrializing our countries and just making just living out of services, because services are thin air. We still need a house. You still need a house, you still need a roof, and you still need usually a car or a train, hopefully more trains. We are here. I wish we had more trains in Spain than we do.
It's any European country you wish you had more trains, because like it's the only thing that makes sense. But no, we don't.
Yep. Well, there's. I will say something in defense of Spain. We have a lot of. If you catch a train here to come to my city from Madrid, it's tunnel, bridge, tunnel, bridge, tunnel, bridge, tunnel, bridge, and it's very expensive. But it also means that the Spanish are very good at making tunnels and bridges for rails, which is why then they try to contract, or they have won some biddings for making trains in the US, for instance. Although I'm guessing that they, for some reason, they are canceling that Dallas, Houston, Fort Walton high-speed train, despite that they are in a line and they are like 20 or 30 million people metropolitan area. For some reason, they are canceling that. It's sad because trains are wonderful. But yeah, when you start losing that knowledge about making stuff, it happens that you start not being you lose creativity. You start being less competitive. You depend on third parties. You cannot develop stuff anymore because you lose the research and development. And it's not about protectionism. Is that we should all have knowledge about how to make things. It's better if it's not localized in just one area. And it has happened also. Geon talks about that. Like nowadays, it's very difficult to make keyboards in Korea because you cannot compete with the anodization, and I need to go to China. And it's sad because there's many great knowledge that he has. He has all those pieces. He knows how to make them, but he cannot find someone that finishes them. What is he going to do? He has to set up a shop to powder coat those pieces, for instance. And it's kind of like you lose the capability of making stuff yourself, and then you rely on someone else. And it's a little bit sad because sure, you get excellent products made in China, but it's the other way around. For me, it's very, very far away. And I would like to be able to hop on a train, go to the factory, see how it's made, and do it everything local, even a low scale and volume. And for that, you need to understand that manufacturing is really important for everyday consumer products and specialized products. And you cannot leap out of making your whole country Disneyland, which is the what's happening with Spain, for instance. We are very service dependent in some areas more than others. It stresses if you live in a tourist city, unfortunately, if you were at Disneyland, you would be a member of the cast and you would get paid for your services as doing. I'm here, I'm living here, I'm doing my daily life, but it seems like the priority is not making everything, making our countries a better place to live and being able to solve issues ourselves. Is just, let's export this issue to somewhere else and let someone else figure out how to solve them. And by doing that, you lose the know-how on how to do anything. And that has happened with keyboards, audio equipment. I'm guessing like
tools, hand tools especially.
Tooling, yeah. Computers. Well, computers is still, Europe has the stereo lithography machines, but we don't care about them. It's not a strategic sector for some reason, and there's no factory in Europe that makes chips. Not serious factory. Well, there's one in Ireland, but I think that in Ireland it's an Intel factory and they just do the final assembly, not the stereolithography stuff. Everything is in Taiwan and Japan. Japan is kind of like a weird example because they are in constant recession, but somehow they have still some of the very specialized companies, although it's everything is getting to China, unfortunately for them, I guess.
Yeah.
But one of the things you're talking about in general here is not, you're saying made in Europe. And one of the big problems you have in Europe, and especially European Union, is the European identity. Because the European identity is not what most Europeans have. They will say, I am not a European. They will say, I am a Dane. I am Spanish.
Yeah.
I am.
You're not going to even say you're a Dane. You're going to say I am from this city.
Yeah. Even
we are very. For me, it's very, because I have relatives that live in Germany, and when I think about folks in the US that say, "Oh, I moved to another state," and they say it very casually, like, "Oh, I moved from New Jersey to Los Angeles," and it's like, okay, so you made a transcontinental move to live in very far away, and I don't want to even move. If I were, I wouldn't want to move to France, which is in a 5 hour, 8 hour car trip. You don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
we obviously have our identity, and you go to the Czech Republic, we are Czech. You go to Germany, we are German, with the difference in cultures and everything. Yeah, it's there's no despite that, but we have a common economic zone and a common space of freedom of movement and some laws and some regulations that have been very beneficial for consumers and living in here. We still are very local, which is why Brexit worked, or like kind of like why they managed to convince people to leave the union, because, well, with some trickery and saying that, oh, we send more money than everything, but you have that sentiment that, no, I'm British, I'm not European, and then you can break apart.
But it's also really the thing that is the problem of Europe, and the Achilles heel of all of Europe is, it's both what makes it great, but it's also what really makes it struggle in the grander scheme, and why it was so easy, for example, for the Germans to close down the foundries, for anodization to disappear from countries, because for Europeans, say for a Dane, it doesn't matter that, oh, I can't get anything chromed anymore. Like, chrome plating? Yeah. Okay, we just send it to Germany. And then like, oh, Germans don't chrome plate anymore either because of the environment. Then we move to China. I was like, fine, but it's just another country down the line anyway. Like, the European identity and that we are keeping things within the European Union is only something you've really seen talked about, unfortunately, slowly since 2014 due to other conflicts, and really sped up after 2022.
And when you think about how it has sped up,
Yeah.
it's not in the way that you expect. It's not like, let's make more of the daily life stuff in here. It's
No.
just the defense, the defense stuff. And also if you think about it, it's not homogeneous in Europe how that sentiment is, because if you are from Latvia or Estonia, your perception of Europe and how the current things are, it's way more scary. You're more scared than someone from Portugal. And it's something that is hard to grasp for folks that are not in Europe, that, you have that. And unfortunately, it seems like we are only moving now, or we are only waking up on some aspects, and it's just for defense stuff. It's not for energy. It's not for making daily life products in here, making smartphones. It's just defense, because defense, you have a large contractor, which is, well, you have a large budget that comes from us, contributors from the country, that will place a large order on some low volume equipment comparatively to, how many orders you can do. And we will spend money on cars like 4x4 cars and tanks and whatever, that to the daily, to the average person doesn't really benefit. It's kind of like one of the issues that the US has is like it has a lot of like most of the not most of the manufacturing, but a large part of the manufacturing is just focused on defense contractors. So it has so you ask a shop, okay, can you make me a keyboard? And they will tell you no, because we would rather make parts for the army than making a keyboard in here, because they pay better and they keep they it's not like they pay better, it's like they have a larger budget. I have a budget of 10,000 or 20,000 euros, and they have a budget of millions to make some small part that goes in a firearm.
But then you just go to them and say, but this needs to plug into an Apache. And then they'll make it for you.
I have some news for you guys. Simon has replied to me. He said, I might be an idiot because my calendar has it in 3 hours.
There's a non-zero chance. So
what? Look who joined us. Black Simon. Hello,
Please
Simon.
send help. My calendar showed this podcast in 3 hours from now on my calendar. So like I looked at it and it was at 3 p.m. And yesterday we went out. We went to like a small little fair in the area. I had like fireworks and events and shit. Then we came back and just drank nonstop until 3 a.m. At which point I looked at my calendar. I'm like, okay, I have a thing at 3 p.m. tomorrow. That's fine. Nope, it was at 10 a.m.
It's so weird.
I was literally asleep. Like I haven't even washed my face yet, guys. I just rushed here because I was so upset that I missed Zamb.
Go for it, man. Go for it. We've had the pleasure of talking to Zamb for every guest that we have on is so fucking amazing. This is no exception. Like these are learned men that we have on every single episode, and it's fantastic to hear him speak. He says he's not an engineer. I call him an honorary materials engineer.
No, I'm not an engineer.
He is a historian, and we've been talking
technically, I'm an engineer. My diploma says that I'm an engineer, ingeniero informático.
So easy.
But not real. It's like I'm sorry to everyone that has an engineering in computer science. Is not a real engineering.
Noted. Okay, good. A very good information.
I am. No, Simon. I'm an engineer in computer science and software development, and it's not a real engineering.
Yeah, I get. Okay, yeah, I guess. Shit.
I don't want to throw you into the water right away, but do you have any questions that you've been wanting to ask Zamb, Simon?
Wanting to ask him?
Yeah, or any specific topics?
Listen, I'm just happy to see your face, dude. I'm happy that you joined us. That's the most important thing. We can talk about fucking whatever. I don't care.
How did
you have missed the pre-show, and the pre-show was very good.
Oh yeah, I missed the first bit. So like I don't know if like I'm allowed to ask about like your setup. I could see the microscope over there. I could see, is that a Prusa 2 XL?
Yeah, this is a Prusa XL, and this is a Voron 0. And this thing is fantastic.
You did a Voron?
Yes.
That's cool.
I love it. It only prints TPU.
Oh.
Because this is my dedicated machine to print TPU.
Okay. And
I have printed other stuff, but
this is
you're like one of the few people that like actually has a 3D printer and is like using it for like the actual thing it's meant for, which is like rapid prototyping to like get a feel for like how shit should. Yeah, exactly. Everybody else with 3D printers are like, haha, look,
you can see there,
I built a cock and balls.
This is my pile of shame. This is my pile of shame.
The pile of misprints. Oh, it's fine, dude.
No, but he also understood the task completely because he did one machine, one material.
There's a bucket, but yeah.
That checks out. Huh.
Some people have no shame. This man has all the shame.
And also keycaps. Like they're not picturing in this very clever setup stuff, so you can see all these two printers. There's a room with no windows that has the resin printer.
Ah,
And that's
so
I,
the print.
I can tell you something about what I 3D print. This is also like you can get this on printable. This is like a solder dispenser.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
This is like a solder pen.
Yeah. How does it work? Can you explain to me like how it works?
Yeah, you have it. You have it.
I can
Like,
explain it poorly.
It didn't work for me because of my
Just a
issue,
second.
as all of you know, is my left hand is like real stupid.
Yeah.
And the way that I hold solder is
Mhm.
really weird. So like having this doesn't help. It makes it way harder for me.
You know, I'm going to be honest with you. With 3D printers, whenever I see, yes,
Oh my god.
we all have it.
I
we
don't
all
have
lo-
it. I don't know.
I have
Here,
it
have it.
somewhere. I have another one in here. I love this little thing. I love the solder dispenser.
You know, I don't even have a solder roll holder. I have literally just had a roll of solder on my desk for 6 years
Yep.
that I put
Well,
my
I think-
finger into and pull the wire out of so it spins.
I didn't even know they made those. I did the same thing. I'm an idiot.
Mine
What?
is there.
You just
and
need
I
you
lost,
just need this. And
I have like the good. I have the good stuff before it wasn't allowed to sell them. I have some caster solder things.
Is that
And
like a Spain
this
thing?
full-
Because like most of
No, it's a
EU, like
European.
you,
I think like
it's not
in
you
Europe
can't buy it.
cannot.
You can buy it.
Yeah, you can buy
It's
it.
just like difficult to fucking find. Like it's not
No.
illegal to buy or
No,
use, right?
I think it's more for companies, isn't it?
No, it's piss easy.
No?
Like it's really in Europe, it's not a problem to get. What's limited in Europe is the production of equipment. In the production, you can't use leaded solder.
Let the solder.
But buying it as a private consumer for repairs is not an issue. Like here's a spool of Loctite. I bought this
Yeah,
in
I
Europe
think
after
I think
the whole ban.
mine. I bought it from Amazon or something
just-
like that.
Yep. You just go to Mouser, you buy it, and you're
Oh.
like, oh shit, I need to go under the. I need to get the free shipping, and you're just like, yeah, I'll just like toss in a
Buy
ton
some
of
switches.
No. Don't buy switches. But what you do buy from Mouser is Cherry 2 used stabilizers because they are cheap as heck.
Ooh.
Truth.
Wait,
That
how,
is
how
how
cheap
I
are we
did it.
talking?
Like they are the cheapest option, but you have to buy them in bulk.
There's a reason why I sent you all those 2Us, Simon. They're all from Mauser.
Oh yeah,
here's all
so
the
that's
samples.
exactly
But-
why I was asking. Because like, wait, let me. Where's?
Jesus Christ, he literally just woke up.
All right,
Very clear.
I'm like, as you can tell, like, I'm probably running low on 2U wires real soon. This is
Yeah.
only like 150 wires, so like, I gotta stock up real soon. You know?
That's the stuff that you said. Oh, I'm going to buy once for life, and then you run out of them because you build many keyboards.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm
You buy like
totally
a bag of
serious that
200, and then it's like runs
use-
out.
I
Oh,
use
200
3D
is nothing.
printers.
I've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
for the purpose they are meant to. Like you print the stuff.
Yeah.
You print
I'd
the
love-
trays, and you print.
I'd love to get a. I actually should get a 3D printer like soon as like as a company expense because like there's a lot of 3D printed shit that I need.
yeah,
And
Do you want one?
and actually
do
print
I want one? Yeah,
the
I'm
stuff that
gonna
it's
like I'll
usable,
build.
not
I'll probably build a.
figurines.
I'll build a.
Get the one from my garage, please.
No, I'll build a Voron 2.4 or something.
Oh,
I want to do a Core XY, something good with like
It's very
self-bed
intensive,
leveling.
though.
What's that?
It's very intensive, labor-intensive building a Voron.
Oh, I know.
But
I
it's
put
it's
together
like a
shit all the
project
time.
car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't want to just like I don't want to go the route of get the X1 Carbon or whatever the fuck it's called,
No.
which is like I mean it's a good enough printer, it'll do the work, but like I kind of feel wrong
Okay.
about it. I'd rather have a bigger build bed. I'd rather be able to like in the future swap out parts if I want to. You know,
This thing.
if anything has taught me
Thi-
anything, is it's
Can-
nice
can
to
you-
have something that you can fucking like fix.
Yes. This thing. The best part about it, like you have like it has a Raspberry Pi, so it could technically run a media server if I wanted to. Like this printer could have a media server. But the best part of this is like you have like a web interface, and it's very complete, and you have scripts, and then you can
Yep.
configure it on
Oh, yeah.
the go.
Yeah, I'm
It-
surprised that
it's-
like I'm surprised the Zero even uses a Raspberry Pi, because now you get little ESP32 controllers, and what you could run on ESP32 these days is fucking insane.
You need so behind this printer, what it has is it has a host, and it has multiple Raspberry Picos. So it has one.
Okay, so they're
on the
Picos,
top.
so they're basically ESPs. Okay.
Yes, and the controller, the stepper control is done by a Raspberry Pico, an RP2040, but you need a server. You need a Raspberry Pi or something compatible, something off-brand. You need an actual proper computer, not a micro controller. You need a single board computer to manage this thing, and it's actually fantastic. Like it's a pain in the butt building a Boron Zero because it's very small.
Oh yeah, that
It's
is not
very
fun.
Yeah. I don't.
Oh, there's a
recommend
0.2 now. Oh, that's real fucking cute. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want a small.
No,
don't.
don't.
I don't want a small printer. I want the bed
build
space.
a small Boron unless you want a very small printer.
Yeah, no.
But
like, I know I'm gonna need to like print shit like at least like maximum this big. At which point, like, you're gonna need something decently big.
Yeah, and it's also because it doesn't scale well. It doesn't scale well down when it comes to Core XY. Using like the belts are smaller, the pulleys are smaller. You want a large printer with a large, thick, wide belt and larger motors. This is
you get more stability, I guess.
This is fantastic. This is fantastic, but it's much easier to operate the large printer.
Yeah.
But we also discussed this earlier, Sam. You don't want this. You want a 5-axis.
Oh yeah, we want 5-axis machines.
You don't want to do additive for them.
The good keyboard friends podcast.
You guys can't be saying stuff like that and make me like happy, but like, I don't think we're gonna be able to make like, what's like a low end 5-axis these days? Like 200 grand.
A Haas? Do you want a Haas or do?
No, we don't want a Haas. But the Haas one is a low end.
A Haas. I think it was. Well, without accessories, I think it was 100 grand a Haas 5-axis the UMC.
Okay, I mean, but with accessories, it's gonna.
You can get a toy 5-axis machine, which is the Pocket CNC 5-axis, which is under 10 grand, I believe. I might be wrong.
But why?
But I think also
Pocket
in the US,
CNC.
in general, like the smaller milling machines like the Haas are more available at a price point compared to.
Oh my
Europe.
god! You guys will never guess the price of the Pocket NCV2.
10 grand.
$6,900.
Yes, but
that's a purchase. Straight in the basket.
The working volume is going to be something like
is nothing.
This big.
Wait, no. Travel is 128 millimeters in the y-axis.
This is 120. This is 120.
Yeah, 115 in the X, and then 90 in the Z.
And then you have to account for fixturing. So you can make a keycap, a single keycap, but you can make it.
And sit and wonder and figure out, like, how can I make an ISO in this thing?
Oh, you can't.
You can.
Yeah, but
no.
I'm not saying fixturing.
I'm not saying whether or not you can. I'm saying you can't.
But will you let that stop you? I mean, I'm sure if you take this newly found CNC machine, start making parts for your CNC machine, you'll make this little itsy-bitsy CNC machine, make a custom jig that allows you to make your own ISO macro pad on this and sell them at your own web store for the next October.
Kate says she's on board, so you've got the okay from Kate.
Exactly. Kate says it's fine.
I don't believe you.
The actual Illuminati keyboard made at the Illuminati shop.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's even a thing anymore.
It's not no longer the Illuminati keyboards, it's the Illuminati key cults. All made in the USA. USA made. Proud.
How did Zamb how did you get in touch with Simon, and how did you get on the how did you get in the recap team basement? Like, how did that relationship?
Zamb's
Simon
not
is
part of the recap team. Zamb is just a moderator.
Oh.
and it was just for the memes. I was just like, you know what? What was it? It was like I didn't know how to set up the better Twitch like emotes and stuff. It's not that I didn't know, it's I didn't care enough to like take the time to like Google how to do it and add what I want. And I was just like,
I'm
Zamb,
an
here,
honorary
be a mod.
mod. Yeah,
He's there to feed them.
my some of my highlights as a mod as a moderator for the Black Simon .tv are banning Puddsy.
Based.
And I'm banning him and then banning him again.
Yeah.
By the way, he got married.
Fuck yeah.
Congrats, Puddsy.
Yeah, I found out because he posted something on the Hibi Discord. Say, me and my wife love this, and I say, okay, so he got married. He's making moves.
He's so young.
Yes, like so. Okay,
There's nothing
Puddsy
wrong with that, but like
Puddsy got a lot of hate because he was very obnoxious. But what people don't realize is that Puddsy was 16 or 17 when he was very, very obnoxious. Like it was like if you go to 2013 or something, he was like 15
when I
or
knew
so.
Puddsy, he was like 14, 15, and I was like, huh. Your mom's gonna buy keyboards
that's
for you.
2013 or 2012.
Yeah.
He was very, very young. Now he might be, whatever. So he's younger than me, and I'm already 30.
Yeah.
Man.
So how did you?
15 years.
Go ahead, Tanghus.
I can just imagine me in the hobby when I was 15. I would have been insufferable.
Yeah, same.
You cannot imagine how many folks started very, very extremely young, making keyboard shit. Like a famous British guy named Zondat also ran his first group by when he was 16 or 17.
Yep.
And
I always said, just because. No, I always say, like, just because somebody is young, it doesn't mean, like, I don't trust them to, like, design a good product. I don't trust them to run a group buy. But, like, if a designer is young, I don't care. Like, there's plenty of young, talented people. Like, there's the adage of, no matter how fucking good you get, there's an Asian kid that's way better than you, so.
It's not me. But how did you
Well, you're not
Simon?
an Asian kid.
Yeah, you don't know
It's
that.
Diego.
You said you don't know the difference between 13 and 30. I might be 13.
But as we discussed earlier, the reason why this Asian kid is good is basically just because poor choices done by the European Union in the 90s that outsourced everything and moved all the knowledge base from Europe outside into Asia, especially feeding into China. So that's why China is really good. It's all because of the boomers.
We did talk about this.
Well, technically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's because of the boomers.
It is because
We
of the boomers.
we can blame boomers for something. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn boomers. They ruined their keyboards, dude. We had such good fucking keyboards. Do you remember when, like, you go to a store and you buy a keyboard that is great? You can't anymore. Like,
back when your keyboard just went into a terminal and just like, let's do this.
Yeah. Like, what can you buy, like, today? Like, like from a brand that's, like, this good?
Yeah, and like this thing, like this is very modern. Like, for some reason, the boomers ruined Hall Effect because this is clearly Hall Effect, which is just something we're starting to discover now. Because
wait, you say this is clearly Hall Effect? Are you sure it's not like foam and foil or something cursed?
He'll open it. He'll open it for you. He opened it for me.
Because it's really cursed to open it, but no. I really have to fold it up. But this is a micro switch. This is the magnetic Hall Effect switches.
Yep. I see the vertical.
And this is the 3-pin Hall Effect sensors. I would love to convert this. So this is back to why I want to learn PSP TCBs.
Gondo.
Yeah. Maybe
Gondo.
one day when I get rich, maybe I should pay someone to actually make me a PCB instead of dreaming I'm doing it myself.
Listen.
With all the time I don't have.
Listen, sometimes you don't need to be rich. You just need
to ask nicely.
Yeah. You just need somebody to fucking hook you up.
Nobody in
the first thing we were
nobody
talking
in
about.
chat knows anything about this. Give me just one quick second. For example, I don't know what the current name is of the CCRX run that we're doing as a Simon exclusive, like Simoncord exclusive, like the F169. Yeah, obviously any of you guys, I don't have to say, you get first fucking priority.
I have no
Uh,
money.
Well,
I don't
we
keep
are,
track of Simon projects. I just watch sometimes your stream.
No, but you have to go into server and see this because this is great. But the only thing that makes it great is that I've been
There's-
promised that it will come in DDSK.
and I'll have you know that there is an individual working on the PCB that
Starts with Gondo and ends with Lindrim.
no, it starts with Cipulot and ends with Dome. That's literally his name on Discord.
How
Well, Cipulot made, and I found it very interesting for the Blue Ridge keyboard. He made a hybrid PCB fixed layout based, double based, which was hot swap and hot swap. So it's hot swap if you use navy switches because you can hot swap from the top an electrocapacitive switch and the other switch, the MX switch.
holy
So
shit.
yeah, double based.
On the same
So
PCB?
if you got the Clever Keeps Blue Ridge, I believe it is, that is both
yeah.
MX and electrocapacitive.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember
It's
seeing
cool
that. It was
part.
real cool.
Yeah. So there's still room for innovation and cool shit.
That reminds me of a tangent though. We were talking about before Simon, you joined us, how there's so many cool things that can happen in the hobby, but for those that run those projects, they can't compete with someone like a Neo or like a QWERTY Keys, obviously, you know. They don't live in China or whatever. But this is super fucking cool. Like the Blue Ridge, yeah, it's kind of pricey, but when I'm looking at, you know, SIP making
it's-
this hybrid PCB, like, oh, it's never going to compete with like a value proposition like I don't know, like a Neo Core or something, but this is a really cool project that is amazing.
Exactly, because you're making a POM plate that is 5 millimeters thick. You are milling it, and you are making the housings into the plate. Not the I'm not the biggest fan of that, despite that I have done thick plates. But I'm not the biggest fan of integrated the housing with the plate. But
I
it
think if it's done well.
the keyboard sounds well because it's made out of POM.
Yeah.
It's not made out of brass, and it's a novel idea. And they have developed Clever has developed the stabilizer piece that goes underneath and locks the wire. So the anti-popping technology that Simon
the
loves.
anti-Zamb technology?
Yeah, he has developed an anti-popping technology that goes. You insert from the bottom a small injection molded piece.
Okay, Hubert.
They have developed the stabilizers.
You need to play the clip at exactly this point. It's like a 5 to 6 second clip on the final edit, and I'll give it to you.
Anti-stabilizer popping out technology. Wait. Anti-stabilizer popping out technology. Anti-stabilizer popping out technology. Anti-stabilizer popping out technology. Do you have stabilizers that constantly pop out because they're made from Zeal? Well, here we go. We've got your anti-stabilizer popping out technology.
I have Simon. You know, there's something very funny about Simon. He has done a lot of streams.
Yeah.
And some of them he has been very drunk.
Yes.
And he knows that I still have clips of him.
What do you mean you still have they're like on the internet. They
are
were
on the
recorded and saved and uploaded.
Did the man
No,
stutter? He has
the VOD was deleted, I guess.
Oh yeah, like if
But-
we lost some of the VODs because Twitch
Yeah.
was assholes.
Yeah,
But, like
this
we've been
man
making
has
an
them.
effort to like retain everything we possibly can.
but Simon was very funny because he was clearly drunk and he was making very funny faces of drunk people that a drunk person that is happy. So he's like cheerful, very cheerful. and I have like emotes that I got from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Simon is searching for the anti-popping technology that thick plates have, and that that dates back to the Wilba Tech Zephyr. I believe it's the
Oh.
Zephyr, which was a keyboard designed by Wilba
Yeah.
that has a 4.75 millimeter thick brass plate that was PVD coated, and that keyboard was run by CLPZ using the CL65 PCB, and I don't remember which switches you used to build them, but probably cherry switches because it's 5 years old. It's a 5-year-old clip, so you're probably based.
I'm looking at the clip. I can see Telios.
Okay, Telios. It makes sense. Makes sense because
Oh
it
wait,
was,
but on the side there's like holy pandas or something. What the fuck? Ew, gross. They're not mine. They're not mine.
Only
I was
Zamb
building
knows.
it for a friend. I promise.
yes, just like that keyboard that you threw
Uh.
and dented. That was also for a friend.
Well, it was, yeah, but now it's our keyboard. We have it forever.
Did you bring all your keyboards in your container, or did you have to?
No, I packed the entire house. I was going to just like bring my server rack and like my stream gear, like shit that like I need to bring. And then the
Mhm.
price did like the price was so high. I was like, let me just get the full container.
Just get a container.
And the
I
guys
don't know
packed
how much
everything.
it cost.
Like our entire move was like just the moving part, not the cats, not the us, just our shit was like about $14,000 to $15,000.
Yeah, but it's all your.
But that's like
all your-
$4,000
all
of
your
that was
life, and it's-
container. The rest of it was like labor because they packed everything in Dubai. They came here, they unpacked everything, they brought everything to like the places in the house that we wanted the stuff. So like theoretically, if like the house was empty, it would have still cost us like the $15,000 to move an entire house from A to B. It's just we moved to a house that already has stuff in it. So everything's still in the garage. Not everything, but you know. But yeah, we brought everything. We brought our cats.
the
We
server
brought
rack, the
Yep.
keyboards,
all the keyboards, all the keyboard
chairs.
shit. Well, the chairs, my stream chair wasn't my chair. I was loaned a Herman Miller Acheron by a friend. And right now, the chair that I've got is a $15 chair I got from Facebook Marketplace.
But did you get
Which
to
I'm
keep the
sitting on
shipping
right now.
container?
I mean, I brought Kate's chair because like Kate has a nice chair, but like I never had a nice chair.
Yeah.
I need to buy a chair. Like we have like the stream has money right now, and I think like it'd be real stupid of me to like not buy a chair that isn't bad for my back.
Yeah, an office chair, not a.
Get a
this
proper
is okay. We are
sized
here
Acheron.
all in the base category when it comes to computer equipment. Office chairs are good. Gaming chairs are bad.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
just go to Facebook Marketplace or Mil Anuncios or whatever platform you have in your country. Search for used office chairs. There's companies shutting down all the time, and
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine went on a 10-hour trip and then 10 hours back just to pick some like 3. I think he picked 3 Capisco chairs, which are these that are weird chairs that have like a T shape and you can sit in different things because it was like,
because you can sit backwards in them.
yeah,
The Capisco's really good.
yeah,
Oh, that's
and he
nice.
paid like 500 euros for 3 chairs or something like that. When new ones, they are 1,000 euros each, I believe. He was like, I'm not going to spend 1,000 euros in a
Yeah,
chair.
fuck that. Yeah.
So
Like I was checking Facebook Marketplace for like nice chairs, and then like I eventually got depressed and stopped looking. Like
but especially if
don't
you live
live-
close to a
Exactly.
large city.
we don't live close to a large city. We live close to
Yeah.
like a medium-ish city, and like I think business is going really well because like I know how it works. Like you check every 2 weeks, and eventually like you're gonna find out like an office that's liquidating. Nope, not one in the past like 4 or 5 months, which is weird.
But isn't it one of the things I think
Well,
might be that we're
none that
spoiled
had
in
like,
Europe?
the chair I wanted.
No, but for example, in Europe, we have a lot of companies that basically living off of like reselling used office equipment here, and it's oftentimes very well priced. And
Yeah.
I mean, we might be spoiled due to like health and safety regulations regulating which chairs you're using, but a very common chair, like the company I work for basically exclusively use Capisco chairs. Great chair, like.
Yeah.
But like getting a used Acheron here or used Capisco is like dirt
Nope.
cheap. Well, at least up here in Northern Europe, they're like plenty.
It depends. Okay.
Okay, if you
I'm
guys are watching
I'm
this,
comparing
do not
Denmark.
Google. Do not
Denmark is pretty.
Spoiled.
I guess like no. Then you guys are all packed together in a small area. I could say compared to Spain. Spain has. If you see a map of Spain, there's a large point in the center that funnels everything inside, which is Madrid, and then there's everything around the peninsula.
Mm.
And unless you live in Barcelona or you live in Bilbao or you live in Madrid or Malaga, a very large city, finding good used chairs, it's not possible.
Don't you have web shops? Like here, basically all I see is the same fucking Dutch companies that are selling the chairs, like and shipping all over Europe. Or it's the same. There's a couple of Danish countries selling these, but like all of them have a web shop. You live in Europe, shipping is pretty commonplace here by now.
Yeah.
So like
I bought mine. Mine is well. What I bought was a fully desk and chair, and this is a fully chair. Fully was then bought by Herman Miller, so there's no longer the fully desk or the chair, I believe. And it was a brand new chair, and it's okay. It's very comfortable, very breathable. I love it. Please don't. It probably costs less than many of the gaming chairs. Please do not buy gaming chairs.
What did you Google, Simon? That people should not.
Oh, I googled Capisco chair,
Capisco.
and
it's the hawk.
oh yeah, I know, but they start at like $1,100. I was like,
Correct.
Yes, they do when you buy them
they
new.
look so stupid though.
But like
They look so stupid, but it's something that if you can
Like, are they
try
good
them,
for people with like bad backs? I don't think so.
they actually are because
it's
you have a saddle seat and the support you have in the back.
I've looked at it. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have the lumbar support that like the full lumbar support that like I'd want from like an actual chair.
see the issue with all these chairs is that because you cannot test them, you cannot really
Yeah.
assure how they work, and
Like, I'd need
that's
to like sit on it for like a whole stream to like see if it's
Yeah.
any good.
Yeah.
it's
One
very
of-
weird.
One of the things it has is that actually the lower seat you can scoot that back and forth. That helps a lot.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
actually a
I'd
really
hope so
good
for
chair.
$1,000.
Look, Simon,
It
look
looks
at
so
this.
fucking stupid,
Look
dude.
how much fun
It's-
this is.
It looks dumb as
Okay,
fuck, but
okay,
I use
wait,
one
let-
every day. It is a great chair.
Let me see which of those seating positions are good for your back. None of them. Okay, so this is meant for like people that have like the most amazing backs in the world. I'm jealous of you guys.
Or
There's
ADHD.
no shot somebody. Oh yeah, or I mean not ADHD, but like people that have like various restless syndromes where like they need to change their seating position often. Which fine, I get it. You know.
Like in the back department, I also have a bad back. Basically, I have a pretty bad scoliosis, so my spine goes like this.
Oh.
Wait,
That
I
actually
wasn't looking.
supports it really
Does
bad.
it go like this or does it go like that?
It goes like basically it folded down. It's kind of like a harmonica. I'm sure like someone could like take a spine and just like, and that give me like the extra 5 centimeters I need. But for sure, like that chair is really great for sitting in over a complete workday. The good thing about that is that I have a different at home. I have the Acheron,
Mhm.
which also gives me a different seating position than it does at work. So having this, that's another great thing. Another thing you can also get for sitting is actually really good. Is like the swapper, which is basically just someone like some magical like thinker basically found out that he could sell like lorry springs with a pillow on top for like $1,000, but it makes for a great chair, or stool in this case. But
Yeah.
basically that allows you to have like a more active positioning economically. But again, if you want to buy a chair for like every need and changing every day, then you're suddenly sitting with an office like 3 office chairs and changing between those on a daily basis.
Yeah, that sounds like if you're having that problem, you've got bigger problems to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Like your large keyboard collection or your massive audio video setup.
we
Or
still
the cinema
haven't talked
camera in the
about
background.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
like,
hey.
this is the
Okay,
Gate
first of
start to
all,
get a new.
that is a retired cinema camera.
Hey, I also
Actually,
have a cinema
Speaking
camera.
of retired, we might actually swap back to a cinema camera for Facecam. And I know that like sounds like an awesome thing, but it's not, because that's 4K. The cinema camera can't even do 1080p. It does 1080i.
What camera are you using, Zamb? Is it a cinema camera?
I'm using the
Looks like an
former
FX3.
Teja types Canon C200.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Simon,
So I bought it from Teja. Back when
Yeah.
straight from
Just so
Teja.
you guys know, like the C200. Wait, let me show you a C100. The C200's like even fucking bigger.
yes, it is very big. But I'm right now. 1 second.
Yeah.
This is worse for audio listeners.
I feel so inadequate, Tanghus.
All right, guys, this is a C100.
That's okay. Hey, kitty. Oh my god.
All right, so the C200 has like an even thicker body, and
Yes.
it's got a screen, but like it's an even thicker body. But it's got autofocus, which this doesn't, by the way, which is why like I don't want to swap back to this.
What I want to do, what I'm waiting for, is like, this is a Canon EOS M. And this Canon EOS M, I bought it for 150 or 200 euros.
Yeah.
And it turns out that you can use the Magic Lantern firmware, and you can actually stream out of the HDMI, I believe, up to 4K RAW.
Wow.
So you can get an aftermarket 3D printed housing which has you disassemble the screen and the buttons and a little bit more, and it adds an Octua fan and adds like the mounting things and makes it kind of like a cinema camera. It's still not. It's not perfect, but it's like
No, it's
150 to 200 euros
It's a
plus the
solid
housing,
solution.
which is 300 euros. So it's like 500 something, and you get a box thing that you can hang from the ceiling, point down, and don't be worried that your very expensive, very heavy camera can break.
Yeah.
But I have, obviously, because I have done the product photography, I have cameras, like I have they are all second hand or third hand. So the C200 is second hand. This is a 5D Mark III that I use for photography. I love it. My lenses are all second hand. I have some film cameras as well. So yeah.
Question to the camera people. If someone happens to sit with a backpack full of EF lenses and would like to upgrade his camera, what camera should he get?
Well, the nice thing about EF is that's meant for like old
Canon.
school like DSLR, which means the lens sits too far back, which then means you just need an adapter to move the lens forward and it'll work. Like that's basically all you need. But the downside is like the translation of the autofocus and like other lens functions is not as amazing as like directly hooking it up to the camera.
I was looking at maybe, say, a used 850D, for example.
Oh, you want to do photography with it?
I mean,
you can
I
get
am
like
just a
real
practical
recent.
being. No, but I'm
you can get real
being.
recent with it.
Can't like say of a 850D. Couldn't I reasonably use that as a replacement there if I wasn't doing photography? Or would that be a shit ass choice?
Look at that lens.
Very loud. This is fantastic for bird photography.
Now I feel inadequate.
I have used this to photograph some birds.
Birds.
Birds, yes.
No,
to the audio listeners, Sam has just based on camera shown like his very impressive setup.
Lens.
No, it's very impressive setup, and it's like
it's 100 to 400 millimeters.
Yeah, the girth is really impressive,
and it's full frame. And
cool.
Based.
Honestly, the good thing about EF lenses, you can get a lot of these in the second-hand market, especially because nowadays they are moving. For some reason, a lot of people that are moving to the
They're moving to RF, right?
Canon mirrorless. They are selling the lenses, despite that they are perfectly adequate and you can use an adapter.
Yep.
But it happens that many photographers, professional photographers, they just buy new lenses every once in a while, and you can find a lot of EF lenses that are fantastic. They are in great condition on eBay and probably many other platforms that I don't know, but I usually just go to eBay. There's like you check the listings, and usually they are like they take photos of the lens and the elements and tell you the condition. And if you can go to Japan and buy in Japan, it's better because they have shitloads of camera stuff for very cheap for some reason, and their condition is fantastic. Like, it happens with everything that says mint condition in Japan is actually like brand new, despite that it's a 20-year-old thing. For some reason, the people that say mint condition, especially from reputable vendors, it's mint, brand new.
Yeah.
No fungus, no haze, no nothing. It's brand new, and you don't even know how they managed to do that, like, for a lens that is 20 or 30 years old.
Yeah, like the definition of like quality or like say condition in Japan is just wild. Like, I used to do quite a bit of Gameboy modding, and like if you buy something that was junk in Japan, was basically just a case of That's
did you build like one of those funny playing kits that you replace the lens and everything?
I built a lot of those for people.
For other people.
Yeah.
Very classy.
Did you even swap like for the Game Boy Advance? There's like a kit that you can buy, the PCB. Did you swap the CPUs?
No, I haven't swapped CPUs. I didn't get that far. Like, those are more recent compared to when I did them. Do I have one here?
Like I have modded a Game Boy Advance and a Game Boy Color.
Ooh.
And it's very, very fun hobby.
Yeah, like that's a whole side quest here.
Hell yeah. I have a white one.
Like,
my Advance is white.
Yeah, my original Advance was white. I still have my original color.
Mine was the classic transparent bluish one.
Oh.
Yeah, like I actually still have my originals. Fucking But my white one isn't white anymore. Now it's kind of like beige. This is like original mine when I was a kid, and just my color.
Same. Purple, transparent purple. Yeah.
Atomic purple is such a white.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, sorry guys, I'm on my phone. Kate's said Savers. It's like Goodwill, but like getting t-shirts for me.
Oh.
I only have two good shirts left, and they're both ham shirts. I have like no clothing. I have one pair of jeans that fits. So
I'm guessing that everyone in here has that. Like, it happens with keyboards, and people that are in the keyboard hobby, that there's a huge overlap in all of the hobbies, like audio equipment, Game Boy modding, apparently, home labs. Like, I also have I also have like a 9-unit server rack. It's a short rack, but it's a 9-unit one, and I have all of my network equipment there. My Raspberry Pi is doing services, NAS and everything. It's a joy having a home lab for that. Like, having your own services. I even watched your video, Simon, that you posted when I'm moving out. So here are my services that I have on my home lab, and I was like, okay, I need to add some of my local search bar instead of relying on whatever service. Like, I have
like running searching or running for anybody like listening that actually has the capability. It's not as hard as you think to like set up like a little like service at home, like setting up a Pi hole or setting up like a local search thing.
No.
But searching it's like it's SERXING searching. It's pretty good. It's a good it's a local search engine, but like obviously it still goes and gets data from like actual search engines, but it like removes the tracking and the ads and the AI and the bullshit. And if I like Google something using like my Google, I mean, I can just
It's actually very discouraging
could-
now that
I
you
could-
try to Google something and it gives you
it gives
AI
you nothing
results.
useful. Yeah, it gives you nothing
Oh,
useful.
on the top, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't even that. What got me is like when I picked up a car for my wife when we moved here, and there were some things I needed to fix. So like I go online and look for like, hey, what airbag replacements, like suspension airbag replacements, are there for this particular model, and like how do I do it, right? And everything was AI bullshit. Like everything was just like you'd read it, it looked like a page with like instructions and shit, but you're just like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? I went through like 2-3 pages of search results until eventually I landed on like a forum that had posts from like 2013, and I'm like, okay, there we go, actual fucking information. But like, it's real, like it's gotten
we are going
real bad.
back to early
went
Google
into
days
the
that you have to
catacombs.
check the second and third page to get a result. So this is how bad things are for people that. So we have been developing the skill of searching thing online by using keywords and everything, and now you ask that question, you get AI results that do not solve that question. Even if you type it as a natural language thing, it won't solve that question. It will give you bullshit results, and then you have to dig into forums or everything like site something something like reddit.com. It used to be like it's finding good info. It's getting harder and harder, and we are losing a lot of the forum knowledge and stuff. Like it's a shame. So it's good to see that there are projects that remove get you to have your own local search bar. I would say, even if it's not perfect, I would rather prefer that than having a blob result that doesn't mean anything at the top of the page, wasting my time and space. Like if I'm searching for where to buy coffee, I don't want a blob that says that coffee. There's coffee, there's Arabica, and there's Robusta, and the story of it and the trade, whatever. I want results. I want roasters in Spain or whatever, or green beans in Spain.
I think it went wrong when people started asking the search engine questions instead of just writing the keyword you're looking for.
Hey, but I at least when I ask the question, I say please and thank you.
Good.
Once it answers,
yes.
it says
add
I
to their
say
server
thank you.
Yes.
resources.
They
down.
They could have a short script than when someone says thank you to bypass all the neural network and artificial intelligence to say you are welcome, but no, they are not. We have not reached that part.
Well,
yeah.
In relation to replaceable airbags, it's difficult to replace a good keyboard friend. Like, we have so many, you know what I mean?
I'm not even upset. I'm not upset this time. You tried, but I'm not upset. You kind of nailed it.
Just like an airbag, a good keyboard friend can save your life.
It's true.
True.
And this episode, our co-hosts, a good keyboard friend nomination will come from Tanghus, and then we'll pass it on to Zamb. And before I do that, I just want to say we will have Zamb on for a very near future episode, the one where Simon is actually there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Like, and for the record, I'm still super hungover, which is why like my brain is all over the place. I didn't expect to have to show up to this podcast for another 2 hours, so I was like, surely I'll be okay.
You're very lucky.
Him.
You're very lucky because we have barely discussed things. There's many things to discuss.
Yeah, there's always.
And we all agreed that this half of the show won't air at least until season 9, so it's fine. So, like the first half, they already got that like 8 seasons ago, but this one, plenty of time.
This is lost episodes when you need a filler.
Yeah, it's like this one actually, it's a really episode, and because it's so far in the future, we won't even know, like, we've discussed, like, the disappearance of Jay, and, like, where he is in the world, and how the whole keyboard hub is still searching for him.
There you go.
Like, whatever since happened back in 28, and, like...
Where Jay is pointing at
Where is he? We really need him, but we won't know that for sure.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, we'll have Zamb on for many more episodes in the future. We'll talk with him about many different things. So
I will always be available, except next month.
no worries, no worries.
I'm probably, if you check the calendar, like national holidays, but maybe some of them I will be.
Go ahead, Tanghus.
No, I'd like to nominate a good friend of mine, but one of the things we met with like he was into mechanical keyboards at the time, and back in 2015, 16, when it's like I had kind of like quit the hobby, and like there's no one around, and then was like, hey, there's a guy. He was really into ergos, and I happened to have like a really sus set of SP caps, and I was like, want those? Sure. And that started a good friendship that I finally he started finding to pay back. So he decided yesterday to help me move all the trash that is left in my garage because I have a car that I need to get moved here. So like I spent all of yesterday cleaning out a garage an hour away. A car that was mismanaged by another friend of mine that I was told was running and driving, which I guess was technically true. But anyway, my good friend here, he goes by the Discord name Improprietary. I can't even spell it. Like Improprietary. There we go.
Improprietary.
Oh, thank you. See, I just needed someone to spell it out, and I can say it. Thank you. No, I won't use his real name here. But he stood around, me mucking about, me swearing and cussing, fixing an air ride suspension on a car, fixing my brakes, getting the car for a test drive. Brakes were gone. Like, my whole day didn't go as expected.
Yeah.
I spent like far too many hours, but he was there the whole day. And it was like a super chill day because at least I had great company. And that's all of what I guess keyboards is about, is fixing an old derelict Jetta.
Oh, that was the Jetta.
That was a Jetta. I am a Mark IV kid by heart. I am one of those poor stance kids.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you, Improprietary. God.
Oh, see, he's even saying it right.
Improprietary?
Yeah, no, I fixed.
Okay. Thank you.
Improper
He's
guy.
going to get a kick out of this.
Impropriety.
Improper username.
Got him.
Oh, shit.
Now it's my time to
Go ahead, yeah.
You know, the worst part is that I have watched some episodes, so I had since Simon told me, oh, can Sam do the 13th at this time, Sunday 13th, July 2025 at 5 p.m. To come here. I have about a week to think about keyboard friends, and there's actually
a week and an hour and a half.
Yeah, and I have been doing keyboards since 2015. So there's many people that come and go. I'm looking just here like a list of folks, and there's many people that I could nominate, like folks like Zambumon, Wilba, Eric, the guy that is behind AE boards, Oblowski, Tombury, Fari, that is the guy that is behind Daily Clock, pikku-allu, Mateo, Diego, Gok, Gondo, Cipulot. I don't talk a lot with Cipulot, but Cipulot is honorary guy that does cool shit.
Cipulot, like he's in the club.
Yeah, AIO3, which he's very crazy. Teha types, he's not. Yeah, Teha types as well. Kate from Hibi, which she's an excellent industrial designer, very excellent, very capable person. Poner, Ion Keyboards. I'm going down. Thermin Goat, Although some of them are more friends, some of them are not. Like
Yeah.
they are more people that I talk with or not. I think I'm going to nominate Soren. Actually, Soren is not known for designing a lot of keyboards. He designed the Decent65 and the Ifrit. But he's a guy that has always, I always send him the stuff that I'm making or I'm designing or I'm prototyping, and he's very enthusiastic and replies and tells me all about, keeps me up to date to some of the keyboard stuff and not keyboard stuff. And he has been a great keyboard friend over all of these years. I don't know. I can't even remember when I first started talking with him. And despite that, with most of these keyboard friends, you never meet them in person because of how the hobbies and sometimes Zambumon, I only saw him for the first time in real life, like for 20 minutes before the GMK meetup, last meetup. Like I didn't go to the GMK meetup, but I went to the hotel where the folks were staying the day before because I have family thing the day of the meetup. So I even met Garrett, the Mr. Omnitype, Garrett, and Clever Kips was there also. I even saw Jay from Prototypes, the famous Jay, and I didn't say hello to him, so I'm going to say sorry, Jay. I didn't say hello to you because I had to leave to catch a train. I saw a lot of people, but yeah, I'm going to nominate Soren because it's there's many keyboard friends in this in the hobby that are more low profile or anonymous or whatever you want to call them. They are just there, and they love keyboards, and you talk about them about all of your other hobbies and your worries or whatever, and they always listen. So yeah, I'm going to nominate Soren. He's a
Fuck
good
yeah.
keyboard friend.
Let's go.
Thank you, Soren, and thank you to improper person.
Improprietary.
Improper username.
Improper username.
Impropriety.
Proprietary. Yeah.
Oh.
We are just going to call you Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks,
Well,
Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. He listens. He'll
Oh, that's
know.
awesome. That's awesome.
He'll
Yeah.
go to love it.
There's also a keyboard friend that I want to say hello. Thank you, good keyboard friend. The podcast RSS feed. I really like RSS feeds because I can listen to the podcast on my on whatever app I choose to. In my case, it's Pocket Cast, but yeah,
Yes.
I love RSS feeds. Please, thank you.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, what happened?
Oh,
What happened?
seriously?
Zamb,
Did we lose him?
Oh, wow.
it's frozen on our end, Zamb. Tanghus? Are you
Is-
there, Tanghus? Is it just me and you?
Do we exist?
What the fuck just happened?
Is this real?
Oh no.
Huh. Kate sends me this. At Savers.
Yes.
Oh, baby.
What happened to our European friends? Did they get smoshed?
Kind of concerning. Let's hop in Discord.
Yeah.
Because like that probably uses like different routes.
Famous last word from the Europeans. We are under attack. That's what Zamb said.
Oh no. Oh no.
So, this might be the end of the podcast at all. Like, Europe just got banned from Riverside. Might be the last one of us. It might be that bombs are dropping. I don't know. They say we should never meet your heroes, but I'm very happy I did today. I'm very happy to have made a new keyboard friend here in Zamb. And so, with these words, it was good knowing you. Don't look to the sky, just run straight for the light.